I should have like Rocky playing, like dun, 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 dun. Yes, I am wearing this blanket scarf. Don't judge me. I'm cold all the time. I always wear sweater scarves. Don't judge me. To my channel. This is day 3 of my Teachmas and my channel, and today we're going to be talking about 5 things that I wish somebody would have told me in my first year of teaching with behavior management. Dun dun dun. And this is from a series of a group of teachers on our Facebook. If you are not a part of the TeacherTuber on Facebook, I will leave the link down below. And I love being in there because I've met a lot of new teachers and it's great. I love it. I love meeting more people that are part of this teacher community because I know there's more amazing people out there. I just gotta find them. And by being in this Facebook group, it has definitely opened my eyes to many, many more TeacherTubers that are out there. So thank you so much for Darren, who has invited me onto the Facebook group. I have absolutely loved being a part of it. It's going to be talking about all kinds of things, from behavior management, how to become a teacher, how to get through college without a teacher. We all have different avenues how we became a teacher. And then today I'm going to be talking about management and behavior management and all things behaviors in your classroom. Oh my, here's the cat. So needy. You're so needy. I will leave the links down below of all of the other TeacherTubers that have uploaded videos for this series. I think this series is going to be really good. The students and grad students that are going to become a teacher very soon and need to know some tips and tricks from the veteran teachers. I'm not a veteran teacher yet, but I'm not a newbie anymore either. I'm like stuck in the middle, you know? Like I'm just doing my own thing. Let's get started. 5 tips to behavior management with difficult students. And these 5 tips are tips that nobody ever told me and that I had to find out the hard way. And I wish somebody would have told me back then, and I wish that I would have believed them if they told me. Here are my 5 tips. Tip number 1, you are probably going to have difficult children in every single year that you have a class. You know, I hate using the term difficult children, but that's the most used term that we use as teachers. You're probably gonna have that one student that needs a lot of your attention, and it's probably one that needs your attention the most in the classroom. I've been through some really tough experiences to get to that point, and that's just what I always try and remember in the back of my head, that just to take you know, a few deep breaths before you even address that child, or make sure that what your management plan, it's setting them up for success. Now that doesn't mean let them get away with whatever they want. That just means definitely set them up for success with your classroom management plan. So for me, when I have a student that maybe has anger issues, I have a calm down list, and it's like a checklist, and I used to laminate them, but they would go and rip them up. So I realized really quickly that you shouldn't laminate your stuff in your calm down bucket. Copies of your calm down sheet and let them check off every single time that they took 10 deep breaths. They sat down in their chair and thought about it. They, you know, took a lap around the school. They, you know, talked with a buddy or used the stress ball. Any of your different things that you have, I can leave a link to the calm down bucket that we use in our classroom, and it really works out. And then he brings it to me, and at the very bottom it says that he is ready to return, he or she is ready to return to class. So it's a really quick way where I can just say, go get your checklist, and I don't have any emotion with it when he starts to get a temper tantrum. So tip number 2 is seek out help. If you are feeling extremely stressed and imbalanced with some type of behavior management plan that you have in place and you know that it's not working, seek out help. That is what your teammates are there for. That's what your principal is there for. Don't know how many people I asked my first year for help. It was ridiculous. At first, for the first few months, I was like silent and I did whatever I could in my room, and of course I had meltdowns and I cried all the time my first year of teaching. And I wish that it wouldn't have got to that point. I wish that I would have started asking the very first day and asking about, okay, this is what I'm doing. I know it's wrong. Please help me figure out what is wrong in my management plan and what can I implement the next day. Number 3 is stick to your plan. I also uploaded another video in the summertime talking about Michael Lennon's The Classroom Management Secret. So I will link that down below as well. I don't have it right now because I lent it to a coworker and I'm letting her use it. It's her first year of teaching. So I definitely said, you need to read this. Please read this. It's gonna help you. If anybody is going into teaching or anybody that's been into teaching, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you read that book. And, you know, I'm not sponsored by Michael Lennon or anything. Actually, it's a really old book. I just happened to pick it up with my coworker over the summer, and it's changed our classroom management plan. There really is no secret. It just kind of tells you how don't use so many prizes and incentives in your classroom, even though that is what you naturally do. I mean, I, as a person, I naturally give out prizes and naturally praise all the time. And I really had to step back from that. And this year, my classroom management is perfect. I mean, I can honestly say that. I love my class. My days aren't perfect, that's for sure, but I know that my management plan is good for every student in my classroom, and it's been working, and we're definitely going to stick with it. And I can definitely talk about that in another vlog. I know if you want me to upload another video about my current classroom management plan. Whatever classroom management plan you decide to do, whether it be Dojo, a Clipart, PBIS, whatever you plan to do, stick with it. Tell your kids that it's important. Don't change it a million different times, because then they know that, well, they can get away with something, and then it's just going to change the rules again. So making sure that you are staying consistent with your classroom management plan will help you so much in the long run. Number 4 is kind of an interesting tip. And it's one that I definitely, it's also ingrained into my body because story time. Here's my journal with all of my tips in it. You are reading, okay? Junabe first grader. Junabe Jones, blah, 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 and out of the corner of your eye, he's not doing the right thing, and you know that that student is probably not going to make a very good choice while you're reading. He should be sitting down and reading, and you're instantly going to want to say, student, sit down, wait until our story is over. What is it that you need? But if that student you know needs that attention, then you have to just ignore it. And that is my biggest tip for rule number 4, is just ignore the issues where you have to address that student in front of the whole class. Ignore that issue until you can revisit that student at a more intimate and personal time and talk to that student about what they were doing that was against the rules or that disrespected you as a teacher. Those conversations go so much more smoother instead of telling that student what to do and the entire class hears it. I didn't start doing this until about a year ago, and it's definitely changed my classroom climate. Teacher, it's so hard because sometimes that student is doing cartwheels in the back of your room and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't ignore this. But try your best to, because all the rest of your kiddos have their eyes on you. So if you address that kid that's in the back of the room, then the rest of them completely lost focus, like they're getting yelled at, and it's just a bad situation for everyone. Keeping that classroom climate and addressing issues that you can personally as best as you can throughout the day. Of course, there's certain situations where you have to stop everything what you're doing and go and address that student. I totally understand that. I'm just saying, keep it in the back of your head that you don't have to always address the student in front of the whole class, and that'll definitely help with your classroom climate. And for my tip number 5, my very last tip is to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, like a real deep breath, not a figure of speech deeper breath. Sit in your teacher chair and take a huge deep breath. Because tomorrow is a new day, and there's something special about teaching, is that if you had a horrible day one day, tomorrow's a brand new day, and you can have a completely amazing day right after a bad day. So teaching is a roller coaster, and you just have to know that the day will end if it is a bad day. If it is a bad day and it's If it's a bad day or something's going on in your life where you just cannot hide your emotions, sit in your teacher chair, take a deep breath, know that the day will end and that you get to start all day tomorrow. I don't know how many times I told my students that I was so sorry for being grumpy or being sad one day. You know, being real with your students helps. You're gonna have good days and you're gonna have bad days, and you're gonna have days where you think that you have touched so many lives, you think that you have made the best lesson ever, and they are going home and they are telling their parents everything about their day because, man, I rock, that lesson was great. That lesson was great. High five yourself. Also gonna have days where you go home thinking, oh my gosh, I should not be teaching. I'm a horrible person. I yelled at that kid. I, got yelled at by a parent. It was just, my observation went horribly. I can't believe that my principal walked in at that time. You're gonna have some crazy roller coaster days. It's a beautiful thing in teaching that you get to start all brand new the next day. Your kids are still gonna love you. If you made a mistake, let them know. If you're grumpy one day, they will understand. Kids are amazing at that. Wake up the next day knowing that you're gonna tackle the day much better this time with a leveled, clear head, and you're gonna rock it. I hope you guys enjoyed these 5 tips that I wish somebody would have told me my first year of teaching. So if you guys liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can stick around for more Coffee Crew videos. I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog on day 4. Later guys, bye.